All right, all right. Greetings, redheads. Greetings. Thank you for joining me in another episode of your favorite show, the one, the only Reds View. Of course, I am your gracious host, Jay Red, and I got a very, very special partner with me today, special guest, Harrison, for the 8 More Than 92 podcast. What is up, bro?
Appreciate it. Appreciate you getting the name right. Unfortunately, that's like the hardest thing for everybody to do is get the name right. But I appreciate you for having me on. I'm glad to be here. Look forward to it. So thank you.
Yeah. For those who not familiar with them, I was a guest on their show some months back, 8 More Than 92 podcast, which is a dope podcast, a part of the Great Convo Media family. We had a great discussion on there. So yeah, man, he wanted to come on the show, and I need to start having more guests frequently. I hadn't had a guest on the show in a while, as far as like the regular show, you know, what I call the debate show or just the regular show or whatever like that. So yeah, man, hopefully everybody's doing okay. Shout out to everybody who's watching on Facebook right now. Shout out to everybody who's watching on Twitter. If you are watching on those platforms, make sure that you retweet it. Make sure that you hit that share button, hit the like button. Again, y'all did it the last time, so I wanted to keep it going. You know, I don't understand what's so hard about hitting the like button. Even if you don't hit share, if you're watching it, just hit the like button. It's real simple. You just click it. That's it.
You know, niggas ain't never gonna give a compliment. You know they like something, but you be like, it's all right. But you know that's nigga code for like, I like it. So they do the same with likes.
And it be killing me because I'll talk to somebody I ain't talked to them in. They be like, yeah, I be seeing your show, man. You be talking some real shit. I'm like, well, damn, can you leave a comment? Can you hit the like button? You know, that engagement helps out. That's why Kevin Samuels was on y'all ass. He would stop the whole show to be like, hey, man, get these likes up. Get these likes up. I don't want to have to start doing y'all like that. But if you do enjoy it, simply subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/ResView. Also, throw your social media stuff out there before we get started.
Oh yeah, the 8 More Than 92 podcast motto is we always keep it 100. For the people that was trying to do that math, I help you out real quick. You can find us on IG at 8mt92_podcast. It's also the same as our Twitter. And then if you want to like email us any type of questions, the 8 More Than 92 podcast at gmail.com. The only numbers is the 8 and the 92. Everything else is words. So you can follow us on there. We also got a YouTube page as well, 8 More Than 92 podcast on YouTube. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe as well. Hit that like button, you know, because I'm not too proud to hit my own like buttons on shit. So I know y'all can do the same.
Absolutely. Yeah, without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Now, you see what the topic is. We're talking about Jay-Z. We're talking about Jay-Z, his God did verse. And the most important thing, if you saw the thumbnail, I'm asking a question. Do you think Jay-Z would be the GOAT? Would he be this top rapper, elite rapper of all time if Biggie weren't alive? Now, before we get into that, I just want to go over a couple of things real quick, some stuff that's been going on. First thing, did you see Stacey Dash? You saw that today, didn't you?
Yeah, I seen that. I saw she found out DMX died.
Yeah.
I saw it on the Breakfast Club when I saw the clip, but it was funny because it was like where she been for the last 17 months. And Twitter had this one tweet. It's like, I don't think Stacey Dash really cared about DMX. She just wanted to show off her new skin color.
Hey, because look, she showed up looking like a whole white woman. And let me see. I'm gonna share the screen and play this for y'all. For those who have been hiding under a rock, because you know we got a lot of people that live up under rocks. So let me go up here, show y'all this. Look at this.
Okay, y'all. I'm ashamed. I didn't know. I didn't know DMX died. I didn't know from a cocaine overdose.
And let me stop it right there. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike. But yeah, man.
They did that shit to me last week. Irv Gotti hating ass had my shit blocked. I had to take his part out. She like Pam Beasley to me off The Office, because I don't know who that woman is.
Hey, man. Because I had to look at it. Tariq Nasheed is where I saw it. I saw his post, and I was like, he said, what happened to Stacey Dash? And I'm looking at her. One of my homeboys said that she looked like Howard Stern. Yeah. And it was crazy because I'm looking like, what in the world is going on with Stacey Dash? Like, First of all, the skin tone, right?
Mhm.
Secondly, you're crying, having a pity party over what we cried about 17 months ago. How in the hell, if you're on social media, if you're not even on social media, but if you are just a part of this world, you did not know DMX died? And you know what's funny? Somebody, well, I shared it too, but they said, wait till she finds out Michael Jackson died. Oh,
That's
she's
funny.
gonna have a real field day then. She's gonna have a real cry pity party then.
I think hers is just weird because it ain't like me. Like if I get on social media, I don't have contacts in like the music biz, but I just feel like, well, I mean, I guess that show how much she done lean to white people because I feel like it's very hard to be around one black person in 17 months and ain't nobody say nothing about DMX. But I
Even
just thought
white
that was,
people though, like right?
that's
I'm
what I was
like,
about to say. But she, I was like, I guess it must be the Republican people she hang around, but like it really didn't make no sense. But like I said, looking at her forehead, it all fell down for her for real. So I don't know.
and I'm so upset because she used to be one of my 90s crushes back in the day, man. She was so beautiful, but she started cooning. And then, after that, like now she's bleaching her skin, and it's just like, oh my God, like Stacey, Dame, talk to your cousin, man. I mean, she's off her rocker right now. Like I said, you don't know whether to be upset with her by not knowing about DMX or the fact that she bleached her skin. I don't know what was going on with that. Another thing I wanted to touch on. Did you see Megan Thee Stallion twerking in the MCU?
She-Hulk, I saw it this morning.
Yeah. What did you think about that? Let me ask you first.
So the first thing I was glad when I seen it said Megan Thee Stallion is signed on to be in the Marvel universe. I'm just glad she wasn't like no character for real. But I don't know if you watch like the series at all. It's not like Daredevil or any like a more serious tones. It has like she break the fourth wall. And so I didn't really have a problem with it because I felt like that's what the whole direction of the show, like it's been goofy. Like it hasn't really picked up the seriousness yet. So to me, it really didn't bother me. I feel like people made way more of it than necessary, but it was just a cameo. But like if you watch the episodes, each episode has a cameo of somebody in there. So I just thought it was a little extra. I thought it was ridiculous when She-Hulk was twerking, but I'm never gonna tell Meg. We've had this conversation. I'm never gonna tell Meg to stop. You know what I'm saying? That she doing bullshit on her personal life, but as far as from like when them hips go, hey, I'm listening.
So my thing is this. Megan Thee Stallion, that's her brand. Her brand is twerking, right? We all know this. People can say what they want about it. I feel a certain type of way a little bit, but at the end of the day, I'm not a fan base. It's not too much, but I still see it. The problem I had with her twerking, and I've watched She-Hulk. I didn't see this particular episode, but I know she's breaking the fourth wall. I know it's kind of comedic, you know what I'm saying? But the problem I have is that I feel like Disney, for one, is on some agenda type of stuff and bringing her on there to twerk. If She-Hulk would have just twerked on her own without Megan Thee Stallion, I wouldn't be saying nothing. But it's like, okay, a black woman who is twerking and stuff comes on the show. Now I twerk. And to me, it reminds me of the Jezebel back during, the slave days and, the stereotypes of, Sambo, Coon, Jezebel, Zip Coon, like all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And Megan Thee Stallion represents, I think she's going to hate herself for this 20 years down the line when, because it may not last forever, but it's something to look back at to where they bring you on there to twerk. That says a lot about it. Now, if she just had a regular role on there with her just acting, hey, I'm all for it. Because I was thinking, okay, she's going to be in the MCU. That's what's up. But
see, that was a misconception because like the episode, it's not gonna ruin it, but the episode was somebody was impersonating her, and so this guy thought he was dating this Meg Thee Stallion elf, and at the end, her cameos, her actually in there, like that's right. He was like, I'm dating Meg Thee Stallion, but it was somebody disguised as her, so she actually had more of a role in the episode. At least they kept name dropping her throughout because somebody was going to trial for her. It's just at the end they did a customary Megan Thee Stallion thing, but I felt like the clip just made it seem like she was just in there to shake her ass. But the whole episode, at least that portion of it, like that subplot, I guess sub B plot, whatever, was about the nigga thinking he was dating Meg Thee Stallion and suing a magical elf that was disguised as her.
But you notice what they promote. You see what I'm saying?
That's all she promote.
Yeah, exactly. So my thing is, I don't like the representation for black women. Now, this is the same because people be like, okay, well, they have street thugs, gangsters. Yeah, we all know that, right? But I'm talking about her in particular. You're going at the MCU and you're doing what you're known for, and it's just, I feel like, you know, of course, you're trying to bring in that type of an audience, which I'm not hating on that. And I'm not hating on Megan Thee Stallion. I just don't like what it represents for black women. The stereotypical Jezebel, hey, when the black girl comes around, we all gonna twerk. Well, like the fact that I saw She-Hulk twerking and stuff, I was like, now, like I said, let me clarify. If She-Hulk twerked on her own without a black woman being there, I wouldn't be saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because black people aren't the only ones that twerk. But if I come around you, I'm black, right? If I come around a white person, they don't need to be like, yo, AG, A shawty, A play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't play into that. Just like if a white person comes around, I'm not going to code switch. Well, we do code switch when we be around white people, but I'm not going to be like, hey, hello, my name is J Red, and you know what I'm saying? And I like what do they like? Pumpkin pie and pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice, yeah. I've noticed, like, I don't know if you noticed when the Breakfast Club was talking about like how she fields questions for them, but then she'll go on other stations and like it's free range. They could ask whatever they want. Like even that shit she did with Gayle King, what she didn't know what friends with benefits was or whatever. But like I've noticed, like I feel like her audience is really big pop, and that's like how you said she marketed herself. Like, you know, Lil' Kim is only known for sexualization stuff, and of course we all know Meg go to college, but I think she has a big outreach to like white folks because even like now I'm glad she played Meg in the episode because her acting was terrible even for playing herself. But I'm glad they gave her serious. But I feel like the more and more I've seen her like do interviews, I think she's crossing over more pop than she is hip hop. She can just rap. It's almost kind of like the Drake route.
That's true.
I think she has a big white following.
Yeah, she's starting to get that, and I think it's, well, of course, it's because of the whole twerking thing. But you know, shout out to her for doing that. It's like she's filling in that little Kim spot because honestly, I don't think she's that great of a rapper. I do like the song she got with Future though. The Pressurelicious, I do like that.
That's the one she paid $200,000 for.
Yeah, the 250. Yeah, $250,000 to like, hey, maybe that's what made me like it, but no, that's it. But nonetheless, shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. Get your twerk on. Now let's get into the meat of what we talking about. So Jay-Z put a verse on, he laced a verse on DJ Khaled's song. It's not a single, I don't think. Single, whatever. Called God Did. And that's what DJ Khaled's album is called. It's called God Did. He has a title track called God Did featuring Jay-Z, Rick Ross, and Lil Wayne. And was John Legend on there too?
He was on there.
Okay, and John Legend, right? Dope song, great production. Jay-Z gave a great verse. I think Wayne came with it too. Ross, but the internet was in an uproar last Friday because everybody's like, oh man, the Jay-Z. And some people, a little bit after the fire kind of died down, were like, man, I've heard better whole verses. Was that verse overrated? What do you think about the verse?
Me personally, I feel like Jay-Z is like, you remember Pootie Tang, right?
Right.
Pootie Tang hop on the beat and don't say nothing. And then Pootie did it again. Pootie. Like, I feel like that's every time Jay-Z, and it's not Jay-Z's fault, but it's the people that listen to him. So I actually didn't hear the verse until today. So I sat on and listened to it a couple times. I thought the verse was really good, but I think it's kind of like the same thing when I'm gonna bring his name back up with Drake. The reason why I say Drake makes better songs than J. Cole and Kendrick is because he can adapt to the times, not going for lyric, but like with Jay-Z, he can still go with today's time for the people that he brought in with him. Like, hey, don't count, you know, it's almost like LeBron being in year 20. You know what I'm saying? Don't count me out for these young niggas like LaMelo and all that. But I felt like he didn't really say anything that I've heard. Like, he's talked about being a billionaire. He's talked about Beyonce. He's talked about like coming from selling crack to cracking open bottles of whatever the highest expensive and buying art. I I hate how he
Credit.
can't stay exactly. I hate how he can't stay on beat, but it's almost like a nigga that get out of jail and try to give you a reformatory lesson every chance he get a chance. But it's kind of like that's all his verses now. And I feel like niggas be forgetting it. It's almost like the Game album. I've had to wait for that pass, but the Game album's really good. Niggas forget the Game can rap.
Right.
Nobody's forgot, but nobody talks about it.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z been able to rap, but I get it. It's almost like I already know that you a billionaire and you say it all the time.
Right.
And this whole like he did it in one take. Nigga, I've known that since Wayne was putting out Dedication 2.
Right.
So
Right.
I think the sentiment and the lore of just who he is and the fact that he can still do, I guess because he hasn't sucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think anybody want to hear DJ Paul. Shout out to him, you know, rep Tennessee. That's where I'm from. But I don't think nobody want to hear DJ Paul jump on there and start rapping like ever since I can remember. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think he could do it. Same with Juicy J. Juicy J makes songs now, but he sound too old for that shit. I think the fact that he can still hop on beats and talk about his life, but I feel like you heard this in 444. You heard this on that one song with him and Beyonce. I think what was it? The one where they redid they did a song together on like the last Khaled album.
Oh, not Shine. Was it Shine?
It might have been, or it might have been something else, but it's something I've heard before. So I think it's great, but I don't think it was like you said, the hype as
now this is the reason why people hyped it up. The big reason is because we're in a drought. We've been in a drought in hip hop for the last 7 years, I want to say. You know, I talk about a drought now, really 10 technically, but like in a serious drought as far as not furthering or elevating, we've been in a drought. Typically when Jay-Z was on top, but he always played his position while on top. You always had some new MC emerging, like you had a DMX, you had a Drake, you had like, you know, Nicki Minaj, you had Lil Wayne come up, you had a lot of people come up, Kanye, Eminem, you had a lot of people that would come up, and Jay-Z wouldn't fizzle out, you know what I'm saying, but he would just play his position. Rick Ross, 2 Chainz, everybody that come up, but we hadn't really had anybody notable. When I say notable, I'm talking about somebody that has all the elements that you need to be a true MC, you know, charisma, lyrics, dope production, all that, you know what I'm saying, the big part, the mega seller, you get what I'm saying, the trailblazer. We hadn't had that. So anytime Jay-Z spits a verse, since he is the MVP of rap, and he has been for the last 20 years, when he spits something, since we're in a drought, it's like water. We like, oh shit, Jay-Z dropped the verse. And then it's the fact that this one was more than 16 bars, he just kept going. You know what I'm saying? When you do that, and you know, you keep going like that, it makes it look bigger than what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if I get a car, it's the same car, but I get a new paint job on it, people gonna look at it in a different light. Oh man, that Benz look amazing now that you put that paint job on it. So you know what I'm saying? I think it's the fact that we're in a drought. Now, in the verse, was the verse dope? Yeah, it was dope, but people were saying that, you know, they've heard better verses from him. I've heard better verses from him because, like you said, when I hear Jay-Z verse nowadays on the DJ Khaled album, I know it's gonna be Billionaire. I got Beyonce. I put other billionaires on. Credit, Wealth, which, and I'm not saying that he should not rap about this. I think it's dope to rap about it because that's what he lives. You know what I'm saying? But like, I came up selling crack. I came up from the Marcy Projects, art, all that stuff. But his verse was no different than his verse that he did. What was it with Nas and DJ Khaled? What was it called? Sorry, Not Sorry.
That was the one I was thinking of, the one that they put out together and everybody's like, eh. But even like with Jay-Z, like it's kind of like, so like Wayne on that Scene Green Nicki Minaj, or that You Only Live Twice, and for a little minute, like Wayne had been back. You know what I'm saying? Like that was something to get excited to, like, damn, he can still do it. But like you said, it's something that I've heard before. And it's kind of like, you know, like LeBron or somebody, like it's nothing that he could do, honestly, that could impress me anymore, because I felt like he shattered it all. You know, so to feel like Jay-Z is doing something, like you said, different. It's, again, Pootie done did it again, and he went in the booth and rapped silent. That's like literally all this shit is. It actually turns you off to do not want to hear it, because even listen to Charlamagne, Hove is just this, like he's the same age as y'all, telling y'all he's like, it sounds weird when Jeezy come on there and start talking about cooking crack, because Jeezy, you got a whole family. You know what I'm saying? Like with a whole Asian woman, she is not letting you cook no crack. She'll let you cook a dog or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But before she lets you cook crack. But it's better that I like how it's his life, but I feel like
it's the same. It's the same. It's the same old, and we overhyped it as a culture. You know what I'm saying? But in all right, he is the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? When the GOAT raps, everybody listens. But at the same time, I think that we're so not used to hearing good verses and good rap, authentic rap, traditional rap, where you can understand everything, no auto tune, and somebody talking some fly, realistic shit. We're not used to hearing that. So, you know, when we hear that from an OG and the leader of rap, because I feel like that's what he is, we just go overboard. So, you know, that's what I think. But nonetheless, it's good. But I figured out what I was going to hear on the DJ Khaled verses. It ain't really nothing different, but I do shout out Jigga for that. Now, this is what the main topic was for today. And I know that there's going to be some debates going on about this. This has been an ongoing debate since Biggie died, you know, pretty much. If Biggie didn't die, would Jay-Z be the GOAT? Now, this question, like I said, has been ongoing forever. And the reason I thought about this is because I was listening to Life After Death while in the gym this morning. And I revisited the album and I'm just like, man, Biggie lyrically was just on another level. When you're talking about, have you heard Life After Death before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that album, Biggie's lyricism was just phenomenal. His cadence, his flow. You remember he had Notorious Thugs on there when he rapped like Bone Thugs.
Get your game, talk your shit.
Yeah, all that shit. And I heard the track with him and Jay-Z, not Brooklyn's Finest. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, I was just like, damn, like they both were similar in the way they rapped at that time. You know, both from Brooklyn. You know, both repped NYC, and they were on that same. You know, Jay-Z was kind of in his shadow. Not his peer, well, his peer, but you know, kind of on the sideline a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But when Biggie died, unfortunately, Jay-Z started reciting a lot of his lyrics, and then you remember even Nas said, how much of Biggie's rhymes gonna come out your fat lips? And it made me wonder, Jay-Z music, now this is musically now. I'm not questioning if he would have been a mogul, but as far as musically, would Jay-Z be Jay-Z, this GOAT, lyrically, musically, if Biggie were alive? What do you think about it?
Me personally, I mean, Jay-Z, I'm from down south, so Jay-Z would never be like my GOAT. So that's Dwayne Carter. That's Dwayne Carter to me, but that could be age, demographics, and everything. Right. But as far as that, me personally, I think out of the two of them, I still think Jay-Z would have surpassed Biggie because I feel like Rick Ross turned to Biggie. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's other people that can give you a story like Port of Miami is a great album. You know what I'm saying? But who else was prior to him? Who was a big rapper like size wise? It was just Biggie. So I feel like he's easily you can manufacture him. Me personally, I think if Tupac was alive, he would have probably squashed it between the two of them because I think just listening to Tupac's albums or songs, I feel like Tupac has a canvas and Biggie did rap better than him, but I felt like the stories were more enticing with Tupac. And I felt like even nowadays, like you can always find a verse of Pac that can go with any type of, whether it's Hail Mary, whether it's Hit 'Em Up, whether it's You Can Run the Streets with My Thugs, whether it's Mama. You know what I'm saying? I felt like the palette of artistry would have been bigger for Tupac because it was just him. I mean, you had Dre and all them, but it was him on the West Coast versus Nas, Biggie, Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? I felt like all that shit would have got into it when it's just Pac. So to me personally, I feel Jay-Z would have still be better than Biggie because I feel like you would have found another Biggie, but you never found another Jay-Z. And the same way I feel like even the closest to Biggie, because I feel like even like it's like Nipsey. When Nipsey died, there were fans of Nipsey, but we can all argue today. A lot of people can. I don't know if his impact would have been felt the same if he was still alive. He just happened to be our Tupac for the way of in the reference of like how people cherish him. You know what I'm saying?
In an intellectual way. Yeah. I feel that. Yeah.
So I just think the Pac would be out of the two of them. To me, I think that, but I think Jay-Z would have never fallen down to Biggie because I think that Jay-Z also was somebody who didn't like follow behind Puff as well. I feel like Puff had too much influence on Biggie.
Well, he did follow. He tried it. GD says no. I just wanted to put that out there. Shout out to GD. But no, Jay-Z did try that, but he ended up going back to what he was known for. Now, if you ask me, I don't think that Jay-Z musically would be where he's at right now if Biggie was alive, simply for the fact that Biggie was the king of New York. Now you had a lot of New York rappers out at that time. This is back when hip hop was primarily focused on New York. You know what I'm saying? As far as like who was the MC, like nowadays, it's not about who's the best MC, it's about who makes the best music. Back then, it was about, yeah, you can make the good music, but you got to be a elite MC at the end of the day. You still had to get respected in New York. You know what I'm saying? But Biggie over Wu-Tang, over Nas, because Nas wasn't a hit maker like Biggie. You know what I'm saying? Now, I love Nas, but he wasn't a hit maker like Biggie, and Biggie did have Puffy in his corner, but Biggie had the whole package. And I feel like as the 2000s would have approached, everything that you were seeing Jay-Z do, Biggie was already doing that. You know what I'm saying? If you're thinking about what's that song, like those pops, like songs that Jay-Z had, you know what I'm saying, or the radio records that Jay-Z had.
Hard Not Life.
Yeah, Hard Not Life, I Just Want to Love You, all the stuff with the Neptunes. Imagine, like Biggie was already talking about being a nasty boy. Biggie was already talking about One More Chance, Juicy. Like he was already making those type of records. When Jay-Z first came out, Reasonable Doubt didn't have any hit records on there. It was a classic album eventually, but it didn't make rounds around worldwide of the industry. As he kept going, his portfolio got bigger. Then you were able to go back to it. But Jay-Z tried to be Biggie when Biggie passed away.
You think he would have been like a New York's version of Common?
Jay-Z?
Yeah.
No. I just think that Jay-Z probably would have just been second fiddle to Biggie. I think that he would have followed what Biggie was trying to do, but I don't think that he, like, because this, anytime you're toe to toe with somebody or you're trying to inspire to be somebody, if that person passes away, you're going to feel, especially if they had the crown, you're going to feel like, okay, this is it for me. That means I gotta go hard or go home. So all the spotlight had time to be on Jay-Z at the time of Biggie's demise. It's like, okay, who else is lyrically on that level? Who else can make hit records? Because Wu-Tang, they could rap their asses off. No, they couldn't make hit.
They can't make hits. They could. They. It can only be something you got to pop the tape for.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Nas wasn't a hit maker. He had a couple of hits during that time, but Nas started going off the radar.
Who was the only big? I think LL was like the only other big one for real coming out of there of New York. But I think Biggie is not Biggie. Puffy is my variable in that. As long as he's there, because you've seen how he's managed the rest of them. Puffy is my outlier in that. As long as Puffy was there, I don't trust. Like, look at Shine, look at Loon, look at, you know what I'm saying? It's so many. Like, look at 112, look at New Edition, look at B5. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that he couldn't get the talent, it's could you sustain the talent? Like, his longest tenured person right now is French Montana, if I'm not mistaken. If French is
he still signed to Puffy?
I haven't checked, but I just know, like I said, that's the last one I think of. French Montana. But I mean, remember, he had Jeezy before Jeezy was Jeezy. Yeah. So he had Young Jock, you know what I'm saying, when people respected him. So Diddy is my like outlier. Like he is my part where I don't know. That's why it's hard to say, because as long as I'm up in the picture, it's like Al Heyman or somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Don King. I just feel like he put himself right next to Biggie with everything. You know, and how long is it gonna last?
That is a good variable when you think about it, because I thought about that today too. Like, how would the business have been? But even if Biggie would have left, I think that Biggie would have probably, went to somebody different, maybe, but that is a good point. If he was off of Bad Boy and went to another label, like say if Def Jam picked up Biggie or something like that, would he still be
a good businessman? You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't get a Rockefeller, he didn't have a Dame Dash. Like, I mean, even though it fell apart, but like, how good was he? Was he just the rapper, or was he a good businessman as well? You got to give Diddy credit for that. He could sell some shit, but that was my always thought in it.
That is there, yeah. But let's say in a perfect world, Biggie put out 4 albums on Bad Boy. You know what I'm saying? Ready to Die was already considered a hip hop classic when it did come out, right? Um, I think that the reason, of course, that Life After Death sold so much during the time and it was regarded as a classic is because he passed away. However, when you do listen to it, the first disc through and through classic, right? After Notorious Thugs on the second disc, it starts going a little off and then it comes back because you could tell Biggie was singing on that album. You know what I'm saying? But it does make you wonder if he would have had a good relationship. They would have kept pumping out more hits. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, like I said, if he had 4 albums on there, or Biggie just was around, because like I said, if you look at this, you know, Puffy was working with Biggie. Puffy tried to work with Jay-Z too, but it wasn't working right. Jay-Z had to find his way while Biggie found his way right off the gate. You know what I'm saying? Due to other help, because I mean it takes a village, right? But I think that Biggie, just the way he was rapping, how he was able to flow over tracks, like to this day, when you listen to One More Chance, you just be like, I'm in lyrical hip hop radio heaven. Like his bars were amazing, you know.
I just think like when you pan him out, it's kind of like how the Game was. A Game of 50 Cent. I always say that they were like the second generation of Tupac. Or I say if Tupac and Biggie would have lived, they would have been them two niggas. But I also feel like, how long could he? Because like I said, Jay-Z broke off with Rockefeller, and he did. That's when the mogul stuff started come through, and then he had The Rock, you know, Memphis Bleak and all them. So he was able to put himself into other projects. And I know Biggie had Junior Mafia. I just think, like I said, I think that as the hits came out, it's kind of like when the Wayne hit Carter 3. Like I knew it was about to decline. How many did he have in him? You know what I'm saying? He just so happened to die with 2 great ass albums, but how many more did he really have in him? Like I said, that's why I said Tupac, because Tupac has so many songs, and you can see like the I Get Around, and then like even like the Resurrection. Like he has songs that like it seemed like he could go on, and he was kind of getting it maybe. But Biggie, I don't know if I think he got, I don't want to say got lucky and died, but he left with 2 great albums to where nobody could quit, because everybody has a high and low. You know, I didn't like American Gangster, but I like the Black Album. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's even Kanye was great up until a certain point, and then he's like, "What's up?" So he never got that chance to suck. So I feel like that was his benefit.
Yeah, and like when you leave off, even now, this is the thing. It says a lot that if you die with 2 albums under your belt, people still regard you as being top 5. You know what I'm saying? It says a lot, because if you're looking at technicality, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, they've surpassed Biggie. You know what I'm saying? Nas surpassed Biggie. He only had 2 albums, but the 2 albums that he did give us was with so much talent, charisma, great production. It's just they were classics. You know what I'm saying? Often regarded as hip hop classics. So even like I said, the fact that he was able to jump on Notorious Thugs and do the Bone Thug style, like at that time, he was like, oh, I can do it all. Because at that time, that flow was real complex to do. You know what I'm saying? So he mastered that. So it just makes you wonder, like, okay, he would have put out a video for those songs and stuff like that. And then going into the 2000s, would Biggie have been the leader going into there? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so it does make you wonder.
I give you a question. If Jeezy would have passed at TM 102 or T.I. would have left by Urban Legend, what would you have regarded them as?
I wouldn't. Let me see.
And them album, especially, or let's say Jeezy died at TM 101. And TM 101 is a fucking classic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're right.
It
depends. Like, because if you pass away with a dope album, it could be regarded as a classic. But I don't. But like you said, you got to think about business practices and stuff like that. I think Jay-Z would have been a mogul, no doubt. You could tell by his business moves. I mean, Rockefeller he owned that with Dame and Biggs, you know. So you got to take that into accountability too. If anybody's watching right now, thank you on Facebook for sharing it. I saw some of y'all share. Hit that like button. YouTube, hit that like button. Feel free to comment into this as well, because we're having a heavy discussion right now.
Liking and sharing is free, y'all.
Yeah, it is. It now that's the question. Do y'all think that if Biggie were alive, Jay-Z would be the GOAT? Because I do now. This is the thing. When I say Jay-Z is the GOAT, right? I think about longevity. I think about albums. Like when I think about albums, I'm thinking about classics. He has at least 4 notable classics, in my opinion. I'm not even fans of all of his albums. I wouldn't even call myself a Jay-Z fan, but when you're thinking about the culture and music and what it means to the game, I think he's the only one living that would be considered number one because he could still drop an album and it goes platinum. Nas, nah. Now Nas is in my top 5. Jay-Z ain't in my top 5, my personal one, right? But if Nas drops an album today, it won't go platinum. But Jay-Z's relevance is always going to be there. I think he can go on until he's 70 years old and he'll
Do
be
you
all right.
think a Biggie album could go platinum if it dropped right now?
That's what we don't know. That's what we don't know.
But a Wayne album can go platinum right now.
No, it can't.
Well, white people love Wayne, but that's what I'm saying. It goes back to the Meg thing you were saying, because like how we look at Meg, but then you figure out when they cross over, because Wayne said all the time when he's making that shit about he ain't no racism, like because it didn't happen to him. Like he's very big with a certain demographic of people. So
his album sales were reflected though. You know, Wayne hadn't been selling like that.
Shit, the only person that's selling is Drake. Like that's the only nigga that's the only nigga who's gonna sell.
Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick.
But they ain't sell like, yeah. I mean, Lil Baby will sell, but ain't nobody selling like Drake. It's really Lil Baby and Drake, and maybe the Baby, because the Baby is way bigger than people give him credit for.
The Baby, yeah, the baby sells. But J. Cole, anytime he dropped, you know, he be selling good. Kendrick had a good first week.
They don't sell as high as their talent for me. Like they get like that one good week, because I think Kendrick's album, which was a good album, but it sold and then it dipped. Like
it did, but I think that contributed to just him not being out in a while, and he really didn't have any hype. Yeah. The hype went away, but you look at Damn. When Damn came out, that shit sold 600K the first week, and was like he had surpassed Drake at that point, but he just stopped after that, and that was the issue. You know what I'm saying? But
I ain't want to segue too much, but yeah, that's what I just kind of wonder, like, could he still do it now when you say the GOAT conversation? Because Jay-Z, like you said, that was a good point. I never even thought of that. Jay-Z can drop something, and like you said, it's overrated or it gets talked about so much. Yeah. Biggie, as much as he's talked about, I feel like it stops with black people, and we don't make up enough to make you.
I don't know. I think bro, Biggie is in movies. White people reference him a lot, and I think that, you know, the overhype thing, right? The fact that he died, Biggie and Tupac are like Jesus in the hip hop community, right? Because they're like in the history books of like Martin and Malcolm. So by default, you know who they are, and they're bigger than music. You know what I'm saying? Tupac, Biggie, those are the two that you automatically are going to reference. If you don't know anybody else, you're gonna know those two and Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is the most. Yeah, Snoop is the most popular rapper of all time, right? Like I mean, worldwide, your grandma.
Yeah, everybody knows Snoop. Like
everybody knows Snoop. Yeah, Snoop is bigger than record sales. You don't even need to do
Snoop bigger than his name. Like the name, like his the person. His name is bigger than the person.
Right. It is. Like, so yeah, Snoop beyond another, but for Biggie, it's hard to say. Maybe if he would have gave us like 3 or 4 albums before he passed away, maybe, but the way his lyrics were and him already making hits out the gate, probably if he would have got the right people, if Puff would have did right.
So the reason why I said Pac too, where are you from?
Alabama, Mobile, Alabama.
Okay, so I don't know. Well, in Nashville, you know, we got like a lot of Kurdish people, which is like Arabs. They play nothing but Pac. So the reason why I don't listen to Biggie as much because more people play Pac down there. And then everywhere I go, a lot of people play a lot more Pac. Only with me, you know, being in the military and shit. Support your troops, like, share, and subscribe to the podcast page. But part about me being but with me being in, the only time I really hear about Biggie and Nas all them is from up north people. But like the entirety, I heard way more Pac songs growing up
than Biggie songs.
Mexicans listen to him, Kurdish people listen to him, and then black people listen to Pac. So that's why, like, even now, I feel like until I step out of the realm of my environment and I go and talk to like you or hip hop heads or music heads and shit, that's when you really have to hear Biggie. That's the only reason I had to step out. I'm like, oh, he was better than I thought, but because I hear Pac so much. Yeah. So that's why it's like an environment thing. That's why I was saying I think it might be Pac more than Biggie. I just think it's New York niggas and niggas that are older than 35 that say Biggie.
Yeah, it is a lot of that does go on. New York bias, you know what I'm saying? Because they often regard people like Mobb Deep, Capone and Noriega. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't name you one Capone and Noriega song. I can name you a Nori song, but Capone and Noriega and Mobb Deep, they're regarded as these elite. You know, anybody who came, if you came out of New York in the 90s, 80s, 90s, or whenever, right? You're going to be looked at as a GOAT. Respectfully, because that is the mecca of hip hop. Have you been to New York before?
Yeah, I've been there before. My sister used to live in Brooklyn.
Okay, yeah. Man, when I tell you, every time I go, I feel hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I feel the essence of it. And I suggest any artist or just somebody who just is a fan of the culture, you gotta visit New York and you'll see exactly where it came from, the whole mecca. I don't care who's running it. Atlanta can run it all day, but the home is definitely New York, and you can't take that away from New York.
Somebody treat this nigga like Sanaa Lathan and Tate Diggs. The next time you go to New York, call Red and be like, when do you fall in love with hip hop?
Hey, I'm gonna answer. Hey, yeah, and I'm gonna answer when y'all hit me up too. This is something interesting that popped up, and I said this. I'm on record saying this for the most part. Usher says no one can battle him in a versus battle.
Chris Brown.
No.
I feel like y'all really are like, I put like this. I'm not saying he's going to win the verses. When you say no one can battle him in a verses, not you, but Usher, no one can battle you. I feel like you are really discrediting Chris Brown before he got into that domestic violence incident, and then that Deuces part, and then that jail, like when he started to like really just kind of blood it up. Like niggas don't understand like that Take You Down, and or even that one where he had Transformer on there. He has a catalog. Now it's gotten a little bit trashy just from the like, yeah, it's like it's, and I feel like I think he's talented, and I feel like he's doing too much to show people he's talented. When I said this earlier on my show, I was like, R&B isn't talking about, you don't beg for nothing no more. Men don't beg for women, women don't beg for men. Y'all just want to fuck. So you get straight to the point. There's no couldn't we be the happily, like it's nothing, none of that. It's no romance in it. So that's what he makes his music to. But I think that Chris Brown will give you a hell of a fight. I don't think that it's a wash out. I think Usher may be winning in 20 songs, 13, 11. I don't even think that's 20. Hold on. 13 no, because that's not 20 either. I say 10, 11, 9.
This is my thing. They're different generations. The only reason that Chris Brown will battle him is because Chris Brown has nobody to battle that could, in his generation, like his time frame, his generation, can't nobody battle Chris Brown. But in Usher,
20 songs at least. I say about 10. 10 songs you could give either one of them competition.
You would literally, in Chris Brown's range, you would have to get Trae songs, you would have to get
Sammy, Pretty Ricky.
You would have to get all of them and combine them in order to go at him, which could be a great battle. Usher, in his time frame, the only one that could give him a run for his money and would beat him, in my personal opinion, he's already locked up right now, R. Kelly.
Yeah, R. Kelly.
Because I don't feel like anybody could battle R. Kelly except a Michael Jackson, right? But Michael Jackson is even in the different time frame, because Michael Jackson could play you Jackson 5 shit. He could play you solo stuff, so it's whatever. Yes, it's just too many. But with Usher, Usher and R. Kelly, I think R. Kelly is,
that shit would have been iconic.
Yeah, that would be a worthy battle, because they both, even though R. Kelly came out some years prior to him, really it wasn't that much long, because Usher came out in 94, but realistically we say 97 when you
Honey Love came out in 89, so he still had 5-6 years on him.
And then 12 Play came out of 90 or 91, something like
91.
Yeah. So but R. Kelly was able to do that and then transition going into, you know, the 2000s, the 90s, the 2000s, and all that stuff. So
allegations are not. Kelly got a catalog. I'm just saying, like, Kelly got, like, that nigga play I Believe I Can Fly. Usher really gonna have to start playing Confessions like that. That's but
nobody can. People don't want smoke with R. Kelly when you're talking about writing, because Usher don't write like that. I'm not saying he doesn't write, but not for other artists.
Yeah. So like Neo, you know what I'm saying? Like people don't give Neo or what's his name? The guy who if she ain't taken, I don't want her or some shit like that. I think it's Eric Bellinger.
Yeah, Eric Bellinger.
Like,
Yeah,
he can
yeah.
write his ass off, but he just can't do it a song to it.
Yeah, can't nobody see Usher in the battle besides R. Kelly. Now, when Usher's saying it, because if I'm Usher and I'm looking at a Chris Brown, it's like, yeah, you little bro, but your stuff, what Usher sang about and what Chris Brown sang about, I'm not gonna say it's different things because they both sang about love, but in my opinion, and because I grew up listening to Usher and I'm the same age as Chris Brown, so Chris Brown makes me feel like I'm in high school, puppy love type of stuff, right? Usher makes me feel like a grown man. Like, listen to grown man shit. Like, when Usher was a teenager, he was rapping, he was singing about "You Make Me Wanna." You know what I'm saying? He was singing about all that. In his early 20s, he's rapping about, singing about confessions.
Yeah.
Chris Brown.
Shit, you forgot You Remind Me of a Girl.
You Remind Me of a Girl, 8701.
That one gets skipped over so many. That guy hits on it. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Hard. Yeah.
Really, the Confessions album is enough to battle somebody in the versus battle. Like, at least 10 songs off of that mug.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, I'm gone.
That's what I'm saying. Chris Brown, in my opinion, doesn't have song. He has songs, but he does not have songs that can compete with Usher. Now, I don't think so, man.
Take You Down, Sweet Love, Liquor. Liquor was first off, that royalty album was so this is the thing. It's not albums he could compete with, but he definitely got enough tracks. Like, he could pick them out. You know, like
what could he play next to the like Confessions, like the title track Confessions, Let It Burn? I mean,
he got Take You Down, he got Dance Forever, he got that No Air. That's the thing. Like,
No Air.
Not saying that was a good song. I had to reach. So you get on the mic, you forget them. So I just
right.
But I'm not saying he gonna beat Usher, but I'm saying, like, as in, if you play if Poppin' come on and this nigga try to play My Way, and then you hear it because of your age frame, that's how you gonna really react. I think
and see, that is the thing. Usher plays certain songs, our age range and older is gonna go ape shit, right?
Exactly. Hotel parties when Poppin' came on.
Right. Take You Down, Poppin', Say Goodbye. A certain demographic is gonna go ape shit when those go on. That's why I'm saying it's not really a good matchup. But for the culture, since they can't really battle anybody individually, they could do it together, and then that'll be cool. But I do think that Chris Brown could win maybe a couple of rounds, but altogether,
I give him 7. I give him 11-9. But I feel like it's not gonna be like a Marion and Mario where, like, niggas just like some people surprised Mario had, like, bro, we all knew Mario could sing. But the R. Kelly one would be funny because I feel like they would have that verses like at Toys R Us or some shit like that. Like, I'm like, he's like, what the fuck going on here? So I'm like, versus
G.I. Joes and little Sailor Moon toys and stuff everywhere. Yeah.
Be like, you bring the kids in. No, these my fans.
Yeah. Hey, but check this out. I go on record saying this, that nobody can see R. Kelly in a versus battle. Like I said, if Usher went against him, R. Kelly got so many damn iconic songs that I just
come on. That's not even getting to, like, when first off, that nigga could play I Wish. That nigga could play Honey Love.
Honey Love.
Great song.
You could start in 89. You could start there.
Let me just go as you saying this, as you saying your spiel. What is this? R. Kelly. If I was to just hit up R. Kelly right now, yes, people, I can delete all of them. If I was, You Remind Me of Something, down low. What is it? Sex Me.
Part 1, part 2, part 3.
Niggas gonna act like they don't remember Ignition. Come on now. This is a remix. Come on.
Step in the Name of Love.
Name of Love. I was about to say that same one. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's
ridiculous.
So I don't know. It's just I think R. Kelly would take it. But Chris Brown, I think that because you're young enough to be both, I think that the songs are going to hit different from you than maybe your sister that was Moesha age. You know what I'm saying? Moesha, and she hear Chris Brown song, it ain't going to do shit. But to a nigga that, because I feel like our generation still leaned on a lot of the 90s R&B.
That's
so true. And then we had Pretty Ricky. We had our own onslaught.
We did.
So it was easy to still rep ours. You going to hear, if I hear Silk, Let Me Lick You Up and Down, I'm going to feel the same way as if Pretty Ricky Juicy come on.
Oh
So
yeah. Those
like it's
but one notable thing about Pretty Ricky, I was so happy when they came out because they gave you the essence of 90s R&B. You know what I'm saying?
That was our Jodeci.
Yeah, they pretty much, because even though all of them didn't sing, Pleasure P had a 90s delivery, 90s voice that you could play to today and you'd be like, damn. That's why when he was in that verses, I said, man, Pleasure P ain't even reaching his bag all the way.
Exactly. And then for him to be out of shape and can still sing that way, that was just like, damn, boy, he was. But like even Sammy had like good hits. Like, you know what I'm saying? That motherfucker could really sing. So like I think it was just a little bit better because ours played with each other. Well, that sounds weird. Our generations could go back and forth, but they were original to the generation. Like you don't hear like how Summer Walker covering Usher songs and everybody else covering old songs. Like Ro James is covering old songs from the 90s. No, like Pretty Ricky and them had their own sound. And I think that's what separates the verses is you gonna feel away. Like even when Soulja Boy and Bow Wow came on, Bow Wow's gonna blow the nigga out the water. He gonna blow a lot of niggas out the water. But when Soulja Boy, Pretty Boy Swag come on, like it's a different feeling. So
yeah, it is. That was a dope battle, by the way. It really took me to my high school days. Hey. So but yeah, shout out to Usher, shout out to Chris Brown, shout out to R. Kelly. Let's move on to this next topic. Now I talked about this last week. I made a video that was on TikTok, got some good views. And I had a lot of people that were in the comment section talking out their neck. And it goes with this. Latinos, I'm gonna say it again, they did not help create hip-hop. Fat Joe got dragged on Twitter for actually saying that it's 50-50. Now, I had a lot of people, man, you ain't from New York, you ain't from the Bronx. Y'all asses are from there, but you weren't born either. You weren't born in 1973. And a lot of y'all OGs, too, are so in love with Latinos, that Latin cooch, that you are blinded by that and you want to stick up for them so bad. This is not saying that they didn't contribute to hip-hop. Right? White people contribute to hip hop too. Eminem, you know what I'm saying? You had the Beastie Boys. Now, I'm not saying that they were great, but they contributed. You had people that did that. But as far as who created hip hop, that was from Black Americans, not Jamaicans. Kool Herc was Jamaican, but he wasn't playing Jamaican music, and hip hop was already here. And I'm going to show you this because the first thing that they'll do, like this, I said last week, I said, ask the question, if Latinos did help create hip-hop, name the names of the prominent people in 1973. They'd be like, I mean, there was a lot of people. Name them. They can't give names. They can never do that. They get to talking about DJ Charlie Chase. DJ Charlie Chase didn't come out till a few years later. You know what I'm saying? They talk about Crazy Legs. They always reference the late 70s and the 80s and not the time period between 1973 and then the 1980s. But they always talk about breakdancing. Now, Puerto Ricans did not help create breakdancing. Want to know why? Because we were already doing it, and I'm going to show you examples of it. Look at this. You see this?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me turn the sound off. This was in the 1950s, right here. You know what I'm saying? You see that? That's an early form of breakdancing. This stuff was already around before Puerto Ricans, Latinos, and everybody participated in it. These are facts. Everything that I say on here is not coming from an opinion or an emotion base, right? These are detailed facts. So if y'all come to me and talk about, yeah, Latinos did, come with me with some names. That's all you got to do. And then talk about what you actually created. You didn't create graffiti. You didn't create breakdancing. Now you contributed to it. Shout out to Crazy Legs. Shout out to DJ Charlie Chase. But one of the early prominent DJs, one of the first DJs was a disco DJ, actually, DJ Mario. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here naming names and I'm telling people this, but they are all, you should see my comments, bro. They just be talking.
I can't remember what video I was looking at when I was just like, I can't remember what it was, but I was like, damn, they going at your ass. But I was just like, they get real. To me, like, I feel like Latinos want to create or Hispanic people. It's just because when New York is a big melting pot. I don't know if you like watch Kanan, but you know, the dude, I think his name is Famous. He say nigga all the time. You know what I'm saying? But if you watch the Hispanic people up in Kanan, they act like they ingratiate themselves in a lot of hip hop culture, but that's also because Black people mess with Hispanic people.
True.
And so when you have an inside leg in to that culture, I feel like you contributed. But if I'm keeping it a buck with you, I can't name you a poppin' Latino rapper other than Big Pun and Fat Joe. And then after that, Hispanic wise is I don't even know what Bad Bunny is. I don't know if it's a man or a girl. I just know the name. I've never really actually seen the person, but
he's a dude. Yeah.
Oh, it's a dude. Okay. Pitbull. And he's Puerto Rican, I think, right?
Pitbull is
Dominican.
Either he's Puerto. I don't think he's Dominican, but he's
whatever.
Like
whatever they got in Miami. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just don't know.
Right.
But I just feel like when y'all get it, that's the only time where you see Hispanic people prominently enriched in hip hop culture is New York, because there's a big melting pot. But outside of New York, you don't hear nobody Hispanic coming from Atlanta. You don't even, and then when you go to like places where it's a lot of Hispanic and Mexican or Spanish speaking people, I was about to say Mexican speaking, Spanish speaking people, there's no hip hop that sound like us. I don't even know if it's hip hop or they singing. So that's what I'm saying. It's only up north in New York to where they feel that they feel like they need that accolade. But you can only name 2 people.
Right. And what you said was very important. If you did help create it, how come it's not more of y'all that were prominent in it? That's simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only prominent people I can think about, because you do have Latino rappers or Mexican rappers out. Shout out to High Power Entertainment, Mr. Capone, Mr. Criminal. You know, they had a whole movement over there on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Those Mexicans or whatever. But in hip hop, yeah, you have Fat Joe, you got Big Pun. Where's the Puerto Rican or Latino Jay-Z? Where's the Puerto Rican or Latino Nas? Where's the Puerto Rican or Latino Kid Capri or DJ Envy? You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't just the rap.
No,
yeah, I mean, but you get what I'm saying? It's like you would have more of that if y'all co-created it. And it goes from, we co-created. And then when you say name names, they'll be like, well, I mean, it's a lot of stuff we contributed to it. And I say name names, and they give me people after the birth of hip hop. And keep in mind, like I said, rap was always around, the form of rapping. And I showed this on my last broadcast. You had Pygmy Markham in 1960, 67, 68. Did a whole rap song. It wasn't called rap back then, you know what I'm saying? But gospel groups used to do raps. All that is rhyming over beats. Black Americans have been doing that. And this isn't discrediting anybody, you know what I'm saying? But Puerto Ricans or Latinos want credit for just being at a party. They be like, okay, I participated, you know what I'm saying? I'm there, so that means I helped create it. No, y'all pushing this false narrative, and you got brothers that's going to speak up, like myself, who's going to get it right.
Fucking with and creating are 2 completely different things. Fucking with and being a part of and celebrating and then creating that's like a parent. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's 2 people in there. There's a mother and a father, not the auntie and the uncle. So like, creating is a big, like, you got to really that's a big step. A part of it, contributing it, I can understand that. Yes, you
right. Yeah.
Creating,
y'all did not. Pump your brakes. Exactly. Next thing I want to talk about, should rap lyrics be used as evidence in court? And this is regarding Fanis Willis. If people are not familiar with her, in Fulton County here in Atlanta, she's the district attorney, and she got Young Thug, Gunna, YSL indictments, and all that other stuff. And I think in California they passed a bill to where you can't use lyrics, you know, as evidence on rappers, or they're trying to get it signed everywhere. But people, you know, that's been an ongoing debate, and she's saying, you know, she wants to keep criminals out and different things like that, because what happened in Atlanta recently, they broke in. It was a gang that broke into Mariah Carey's house and a lot of other celebrities. Like, this was a thing. Yeah. So Fanis Willis was like, hey, you know, y'all are on these rap songs bragging about it. Bring your ass to Fulton County. I'm locking you up. Now, I don't have an issue with justice being served. I don't have an issue with locking people up who are degenerates to society, who are committing criminal acts, because that affects our neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that I don't rock with Fanis Willis all the way is because of this. For those who remember during I think this was back in like 2020, Rayshard Brooks, he got shot and killed in front of a Wendy's here in Atlanta. Fanis Willis, as soon as she became the district attorney, she got these charges dropped against the policeman that killed Rayshard Brooks in cold blood. Now he did run off, you know what I'm saying?
Did
But
he try to grab the gun of the cop too?
No, he didn't try to grab. Like he was trying to. I think the dude was trying to tase him or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, he didn't try to grab a gun. He just wrestled them to the ground and tried to run off. If this was, I've seen literally a old white lady run over a cop. You know what I'm saying? With her door, like, and then they just put her to the ground.
I see white people storm the Capitol like it's a field day, and they walk them down the stairs. So
right. So with Fanis Willis, you know what I'm saying? Keep the same energy towards race soldiers, criminals, and law enforcement, suspected white supremacists. You need to do that too. That's what I feel like with Fanis Willis. I'm not against her taking down gang members, you know, getting criminals out of our neighborhoods and stuff like that. But it seems like she's not keeping that same energy to the white counterparts. So what you think about it?
I think so I have a two-way about it. I feel like if you already know they're doing this, you kind of done for rapping in the lyrics, you know. But I also feel like that shit is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because music is supposed to be freedom of expression. Music is supposed to be an art form or anything. I don't see nobody locking up motherfuckers for making movies that are based off true events. You know,
I feel that too.
So I just feel that you're limiting and you're constricting the artwork, but also at the same time, just like if you at work, you can't go cussing at the customers. I think you got to be a little just conscious of what you're doing, especially if you doing illegal activity or illicit activities. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you gonna be like I said, the famous guy off of Kanan, he said he killed somebody and it was Kanan that killed somebody. So you catching, you making it seem like you did something off of somebody else's body. I did an episode about Vaughn and the retrospect of her. Vaughn was on Twitter telling everything he did, and they only put him on possession of a weapon just to get him off the street. So it's like he wasn't even rapping yet, and it was an open shut case. Like you could log on fucking computer and figure out everybody that was doing what if you really wanted to help the streets of Chicago. Great music and everything in the history, but like the life expectancy of Chicago was so young, and that's because law enforcement decided to just let them kill themselves before they stepped in. But I can't sit there and say that because I didn't know who Vaughn was when he died, and I really didn't listen to him until like 3 months ago. So I'm telling people about something they probably already know a long time ago. To me, it was right. So, but I say that to say I feel that makes his music better. And a little bit like a story, like a Stephen King novel, or, you know, like a horror flick. Because once I figured out, because I saw online, they just convicted him of something he did in 2012. Like he was really out there doing that. So it puts a lot more substance. And then I heard shit about what people would say about Young Thug, like before, like how people want to talk, like he was really about that shit. So I'm going to sit here and say that you should go out there and tell everything and do everything like and incriminate yourself. That's stupid. Like YN Melly or something like that. Like he don't want to think he told himself in a rap. But I'm not going to also sit there and say you need to shackle these people up from sitting there walking the block and telling you good story. Like the baby talks about killing nigga all the time, but he was justified. But you can hear that it affects him. Do I want that to be limited? No, I feel like if you're going to say in the art, you have to actually have real evidence other than musical lyrics, because he may not even wrote the song. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So until you can, you get where I'm going with that. Like,
because I mean, it needs to be fair across the board. Like you said, most importantly, if Steven Spielberg gets in trouble, are they going to say, hey, he wrote this movie that had violence in it? You know what I'm saying? This script had violence in it and stuff like that. Are you going to use that against him? Now, it is dumb, very stupid to rap about what you did if you actually did it. Now, if for example, like if you sold drugs back in the day and, you know, it's years past it, or if you serve time doing it and you're telling your story, it is what it is. But if you rob somebody, then give specific details and evidence, like those dudes who be on Vlad TV incriminating themselves for the white dude in front of them. That's plain stupid. But I am a believer of freedom of speech, and I think that hip hop gets a bad rep versus every other form of entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like people who make video games. If you make Grand Theft Auto, are they gonna hold that against you in the court? You know what I'm saying?
They try to with somebody.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But for these rappers who are out here being stupid, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a difference. Like if I rap about shooting people and I did shoot somebody, you shouldn't look at my lyrics and try to connect it to that. Now, if I'm name dropping, hey, I shot such and such over here on Somerville Street at 5:00 p.m. and da-da-da-da, then that's me being stupid, right? But if I'm incriminating myself, then I deserve that. But a lot of times, like with Boosie, you remember he said that like during his trial, they spent a whole day listening to his rap lyrics. You know what I'm saying? That's unfair. You know what I'm saying? So I don't agree with that aspect of it.
Because you don't see nothing. So a reason I also agree with you, they promote violence in rap the same way they promote violence, and the same way like the guy who didn't stop the motherfucker from killing nobody in Uvalde, Texas. You know what I'm saying? He had to just get you know what I'm saying? Like it's certain legalities that people try to step past. Y'all want to be gangster, y'all want to listen to this. And like I said, black people are the minority. So white people are the one consuming it. Y'all want to keep putting out this type of imagery, i.e., of course you get the Takashis who ain't really doing this shit, but this is what y'all want to see. So what I'm gonna tell somebody that's not gonna go hit a lick. If this is what y'all gonna buy for me to say this shit, yeah. But I also feel that if you don't want to lock us up, you shouldn't play any of it. Because you can't sit there and promote the little babies for what he do, or even like Soulja Boy, he always talking about how he killed somebody. Like you play that video all the time and you promoting that. And then like when some shit really happened, you turn to Justin Bieber with a little twist. You know what I'm saying? He went back to white right after that. So you can't play both sides of the field. Either shut down the music completely or let it be free.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. One more thing we're going to touch on. Lizzo versus Aries Spears. Now, for those who have been living under a rock, Aries Spears, I'm not going to go and play the clip, but Aries Spears basically said that like he was just having an interview and somebody asked him about Lizzo, and he said that she's talented, but she's shaped like the shit emoji, the little crap emoji. And he said he's not in shape himself. He's not the best looking guy in the world. However, he doesn't like, and I'm paraphrasing, but he doesn't like the way that she's portrayed or portraying herself, having to show off her body, which I agree with him 110%. Now, thing is, people, of course, the whole pander community was going at him, talking about, you don't look like shit, you look like that, all that other stuff, right? About him, saying that since you look a certain way, how dare you talk to Lizzo like that, But in the video, he said that she's talented, which I feel like Lizzo is talented as well. I think that she makes good music. Do I listen to all of it? No, but I think what deters me away from her music is her. Not even just her, but how they prompt her up. There was an article that was written about Abercrombie and Fitch. They they took down, I don't know if you saw that, but it was an overweight white model that they had. And the white community on Twitter was in an uproar. They were like, oh my God, this promotes obesity. This is crazy. Like, how are you doing this? But I'm like, y'all the same people who prop Lizzo up. This overweight, obese black woman that displays her body every chance that she gets, goes to public settings like Lakers games and shakes her ass and twerks and wears a thong and all this other stuff. White folks prop that up, So with that, I just feel like he wasn't in the wrong. I feel like the panda community and all the posts like they want to cancel him. You can't cancel no damn Aries Spears. Aries Spears goes against the grain. But it's ironic and contradicting, and it's hypocrisy that the same women who get on him, right? If an in-shape woman was to get on a black dude who's overweight and stuff like that, we would all be laughing at it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If a man is
overweight, what did he do to her?
Right. if a man is overweight, it ain't no sympathy for no man. It's not an empathy for a man. A man can't say accept who I am. They're gonna be like, lose weight, or if we crack jokes on them, it's just jokes. But if we get on a woman doing the same thing,
take these out.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So yeah, give me your take on it.
My issue with it is always just been the same with Lizzo. I think that I feel like women lie when they say, like, I feel like women hype up Lizzo because it takes away one less beautiful woman to a certain standard. I don't think Lizzo is unattractive, but niggas love big girls. So to sit there and hype it like niggas would not talk to Lizzo, a lot of niggas love big girls. Like, that's never been an unknown fact. But the same hype that you give Lizzo saying she beautiful, if your man was to cheat on you with Lizzo, you'd be calling her all out her name, fat. So I just feel that like that is a horrible take. Same with like Leslie Jones. If your man was to cheat on you with Leslie Jones, what would you honestly call Leslie Jones? Now, a man can't be down on his work or a stay-at-home dad. He, every time if a man orders her, he gay. That's all Twitter. Every time a man do something, he's gay. Right. Now, I don't think that it's a problem with two fat people calling each other fat. It's weird, but two big niggas calling each other big is very weird. But I feel like this like social cry for like Lizzo. So why are y'all going to the gym? I think he said in the video, why are y'all going to the gym? Nobody's saying she's unattractive. But if you were to honestly ask anybody that considers themselves like IG model, whatever, anybody that considers themselves top tier, if Lizzo was in your friend group and some niggas came around, would you feel that Lizzo was competition? That's an honest question. Like, you don't, but you hype it up. Now, Aries Spears the same way. Like, you gonna bash him for saying something about another big person. He even acknowledged that he's big, but it's like, who are you? You're not funny. You're this. Like, okay. Like, even Mike Epps said something to him, which I didn't get, but I feel that like she tries to play both sides of the fence. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lizzo does it as well. She tries to play both sides of the fence. One minute you want to be sensitive about it, and I get it. Like, I'm not going to sit there and act like somebody making fun of somebody's size could not get to them, and I appreciate how she stands on it. But I also feel that like with the Rihanna coming to the game a certain type of way versus Lizzo, well, your ass cheeks was out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's breasts and this, but that should let you know the standard of what it really is when it all comes down to it. Nobody's saying you can't be a certain plus size, because you're always going to be allured or you're always going to be attractive to somebody. That's not the case. It's just the lies that people sit there and be like, goals, you're not a goal. So she's not a goal to them. She's not competition to them. So when you don't feel inferior to somebody, you ever notice that? Pay attention. If a girl feel inferior to somebody, they don't get along. If they do not feel inferior to you, they're hyping you up because it's one less competitor for me to go get the nigga that I really want, or he's not going to pay attention to me. And so I just think it's that. I feel like the backlash, he a comedian. Like, you just can't cancel this. Like, everybody just try to break it. They break a man down for the same. Like, you seen that one thing, if an ugly dude say, hey, how you doing this morning, beautiful, that's sexual harassment, versus somebody muscular saying, hey, how you doing, beautiful, that's flirting. I feel like it's the same standard. Like, you'll hype Lizzo up, why aren't you hyping up Aries Spears for saying, you go king, you do this? No, like,
it's the same, because it's men and women, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I don't even think it's all, I think it's programmed, because like I said, they want black women to be depicted like this. That's why I went to the thing with Megan Thee Stallion being the Jezebel, right?
Yeah.
White people prop up Lizzo to make fun of her, because show me the white version of Lizzo. Where in white entertainment do you see an obese woman being propped musically, acting wise, model wise? Now, there are some artists, I mean, not artists, but models that are out there, plus size models, right?
Yeah.
But Lizzo gets all this shine because of her obesity. Because I guarantee you this, if she was to lose weight, everybody would turn their nose up. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you said was 100% accurate, and it shows you the difference, and it's double standards, which I'm a firm believer in double standards. Just like if a girl has sex with two dudes, what we're gonna call it? We're gonna call it train. If a dude has sex with two girls, they're gonna call it a threesome. You know what I'm saying? Or a three-way or something like that. If a
And the
girl
girl
has
tried to
sex,
reclaim it or some shit like that, she was like, "I'm taking back the words." I'm
yeah,
like,
it's
"Nah,
like no,
nigga."
sit down. And a girl, if she has sex with 10 dudes, they're gonna call her a hoe, a freak, whatever. If a dude has sex with 10 girls the same night, they're gonna call him a pimp, player, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So thing is, it is double standards, but it's it's the hypocrisy for me. If you're about body positivity, why are you? And he acknowledged how he looked. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
he's a comedian. He said what he felt, and he said she looked like that emoji. I thought it was funny. I was like, dang.
I
You know
even
what
give
I'm
you an easier one. Have you ever noticed how the big white girl is in white people movie? She's a comedian, like she's a comedic relief. So white people even know what a bit like when big girls, they're not the or like with Melissa McCarthy when she was like had a like she's not used to being like the person of eye, like big white women like are taken back like what you want from me. So like it's only a
saying?
thing that we doing, but I feel like people act like they slick because like I said, we look at the counter like the big girl movies is not like how the big girl when the big girls and black shows come through, like it's like Gabby Society, they looking fabulous, they doing all this extra, you know what I'm saying? They got a man, they got to make sure they got to show you like they can get anybody. But like if it's the other race, the big person is usually the comic relief, whether it's a man or a female.
Always,
Yeah,
always. And then you never see in other race groups of a big girl being number one. You know what I'm saying? You'll never see that. So yeah, it's just that's what I wanted to point out with that whole thing because everybody, dudes knew exactly what it was. And it's a lot of internet. Everybody want to get on the internet and talk and have a voice and all that, garbage and that nonsense.
yeah.
But
But if you really like talk to first off, all niggas gonna hit anything, but a nigga is definitely gonna hit a like niggas love Queen Latifah, niggas love like Monique to a certain point. You start acting crazy, like niggas
yeah,
love them a big chick. So like if you ever ask, like if you ever like go into like a woman circle where they talk about it's always a big bitch, or they always say something like well, she gonna feed them or do X, Y, and Z. Like they know bigger women are competition. But
yeah, they are.
you know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like I guess if they force her to do, get bigger or something more, it takes her away from them. But if you all know especially a skinny nigga, they always say skinny niggas want big girls. So they're someone's attraction. They're very big in the black community.
Yeah. Everybody got it. Everybody got a thing for it. Because if not, put it like this: if you look in porn categories, whatever is in them categories,
BBW or something like that.
yeah, BBW, midgets, whatever, right? You're going to have in categories because people watch it. That
Yeah.
means somebody's into it. It wouldn't be a category if people didn't watch it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you got BBWs, yes, people are looking at that. Now, I do feel like with big women, they get more on the sexual side because they'll tell you it's be a lot of dudes in my inbox, but those dudes probably just want the sex from the big girl. And they're embarrassed about being around her because it's that negative stigma. Because I'm saying obesity is an issue. It is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be obese. Like you need to. I'm not saying you're supposed to be skinny because skinny can be an issue too. But
every nigga want to hit a big chick. At the end of the day, like every fantasy, like man, she be eating. I know she like every nigga has a big girl. Like at least one part of about something about a big girl. She be such and such. I ain't gonna pick her up, but like
right.
if she can eat, you know what she could do to me. Like that's every man's mantra. So to think that they don't think that we know that, like you're not hurting us. Like because if you start fucking up, I know I got to do. Also, I'll say this, like you said, they don't like to go out. The standard that they have to hold with a bigger woman is less than the standard that they have to keep up with a high maintenance woman.
That's true. That's true because they're not gonna look at it as taking that much.
Exactly.
But man, because usually I keep these an hour, but we had some great discussions today, man. Thank you everybody for tuning in to this week's episode of Res View, man. Again, if you're watching right now, make sure that you subscribe to youtube.com/ResView. Follow me on all social media platforms at JAYR3D. Also, my partner right here, Harrison. Thank you for coming through, brother.
Appreciate you.
I'm part of the 8 More Than 92 podcast. You see, he got his shirt on right there. So once again, tell everybody where they can find your podcast.
First and foremost, thank you again for having me on here. Everybody, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Res View. I try to post as much as I can, always engaging in interactions and conversations. he's always gonna push the bar to make you think and come out your comfort zone. So that's the best part about it. But you can find us at the 8 More Than 92 podcast, where we always keep it 100. You can find us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you want that you have any type of podcast service or video service. And that's where you can find us. Or you can email us at the 8 More Than 92 podcast at gmail.com. And our Instagram is 8MT_podcast. That's our IG and Twitter. So you can follow us at any of them places and come connect with us. We need new fans.
Absolutely. And I do too, man. So yeah, everybody make sure again, hit that like button, comment, share, do all this stuff, and also donate to the Cash App $JAYR3D. I can't express to y'all how much important it is for y'all to support us content creators, because it ain't easy. We got to put in our time, dedication. We got to edit videos to these hour-long videos. We got to trim down the fat and see which one we're gonna use for promo and stuff like that. But yeah, man,
I'm editing right off this from that part I did right for this. Yeah, I know.
Absolutely. So you already know what it is. But anyway, y'all, this has been today's episode of Reds View. Make sure that you tune in each and every week, either Wednesday or Thursday, or whenever I feel like dropping it. But yeah, man, this is J. Red Harrison signing out.
Peace.